Welcome back everybody to our tiny house. Just really quick, just wanted to show you some things before we go onto the deck. I am in the first floor, 2, and some things that we're going to actually do in the last video, but before I forget, I wanted to show you in this video is these dimensions. See how big these dimensions are? They're kind of big, they're kind of, a little too big. And what we can do is right down here, this scale will actually scale all of this. So right now I'm on 1/8, so if I go to 1/4, it'll scale it appropriately to that actual scale. And all we're going to do is make some basic sheets eventually, but just to show you, when you're going through this and you want to design anything, you always want to use detail line and not model line. And then, because it's just a nice little black simple line, you can draw the fireplace. We could draw in the actual cooktop here that we never put in. And then one other thing, when you're labeling these, you can go to text, and when you just throw the text in, this is the thing that I really don't like about Revit, which I understand it, but I still don't like it. So if we said like kitchen, for instance, your kitchen on yours is probably bigger because I already changed it. But let's say, like, why can't I just make a text box and change it? Well, you can't, because it's all this family parameters, business, and everything cascades on top of each other. So for instance, if I want to change this thing, I need to click on this and go up here to the type properties, which is the family and then the type within the family. So if you want to make something smaller or bigger, simply duplicate it just like we always do. So the way they have it set up is their naming scheme is the size of the font and then the font type, and you could do whatever you want. Just to show you, like, we'll do 1/16 and then we'll keep it at Arial. So down here, font Arial, and then the font size right there. So I'll change that to 1/16. You can click OK, and now you can see how it's small. So when you're labeling rooms and making things look nice in Revit, this is one of the ways to do it. Simplest way to do it. And yeah, alright, so enough about that. We'll get more into that in the next one. Let's go ahead and look at our beautiful house. So the last thing we're going to do, it's going to wrap up the year. We're not going to make the garage, but we are going to make a simple deck just to finish this off and give it a nice clean look. Add some landscaping and some other things. So what I would like you to do, I'm going to go over here and look at the actual picture of this house. So there is a little step up, and then there's a deck that goes all the way around. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and hit architecture, and we're going to do this all in model in place, and we're going to go to generic model, and you could name this deck if you want. And this is just, we're going to do this kind of eyeballing. So we're going to set this thing, and what we're going to do is use the first floor, so right here. So we're going to use the first floor of our tiny house, which is right there. Good, and we can show that, and you can kind of see where that is. Let's go ahead and do an extrusion. And so I'm working off that first floor, and I'm just going to grab that edge right there. And I know this is the siding edge. You can shift this around. It really doesn't matter. Just go out 5 inches, make it a normal step, which is somewhere between 10 and 11. So I'm just, hopefully this makes sense to you. Just trying to get this thing nice and straight. There we go. And now this is the one thing I want you to do, because we're on the actual level here. I need to actually go down just a little bit because we're going to put on the the tread plates. I'm going to bring the image over here. So right here, the actual tread, we're just going to make a box. Box, 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 all the way around, and then another one that we're going to use a different planking system. So right here, let's go ahead and, so we have a start and an end extrusion. Let's go ahead and start it at -1 inch, and we'll end it at -1 foot 1 inch, and it should go down, I hope. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Perfect, and it did. So you can see how it went down, except it went down, that's too far. We don't want a foot, we want more like 7 inches. So let's just do -8, because we're already starting at -1, -8, and apply, and there we go. And then you can see the actual little step right there. So let's just go ahead, and we don't want to finish the model. We're going to go to create, solid extrusion. I'm going to say set work plane. I'm going to say pick plane. I'm going to pick the top of this one now. And this one, I'm going to go across here and just do a little overhang. Yeah, 1 inch overhang will work. Or a 1/2 inch overhang. Or whatever your heart desires. So that's 2 inches. I need to shift this one in. There we go. And so this is going to be end extrusion 1 inch. And the start extrusion is going to be 0. Since we're starting here, 0, everything's relative. And I'm going to change this to the flooring just for now. So I'm coming up here, and if you type in oak flooring or whatever you're using for your flooring, there you go. Go ahead, push that, and then say OK. Oh, well, that's not what I want, but that doesn't matter. Just something other than black so we can see the difference. And then we can actually just push it right inside the wall if we wanted to. And pull it up just a tiny bit more so it overlaps and you get that kind of thing going on. If you want. I'm going to totally change that in a second. Alright, so same thing, except this gets a little tricky. I'm actually going to hide the ground right now. So I'm going to click on, oh, I got to be out of the model. So I'm going to be out of the model. I'm going to click the ground, and I'm going to come down here to the temporary hide. We're going to hide element. That way we can just work on this without all that stuff going on. Because we're going to move this actual thing later. So the next thing is to make the tread for the entire deck. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on this again. And I'm going to say set work plane. And this time I'm working backwards, so I'm working on the bottom here, and I'm going to go down. And the reason why we're doing this is so everything lines up with the front door. So then you can actually rotate your view, go to create extrusion, and so I'm making the planks here, and we want to have lots of room for people to sit, so I'm going to go 4 feet. I'm going to wrap this thing all the way around. So the first thing I'm going to do is stop at the edge. And then this side's actually bigger, because this is kind of the hangout room. Hangout area, I guess you want to say. So I'm just going to release right there. Rotate my view. Kind of hard to see. And then this, you can go as far as you want. In the plan, there's double doors right there, I believe. But we can do that. And you can just come over whatever you really want, and then I'm just going right into the wall, kind of following the wall back, and I think I went too far. Alright, I'm going to use this, come across, there we go. And so if you think about this, we're on the bottom here. We're going to do the same thing, except we don't want to go up, we want to go down. So again, working kind of upside down, I'm going to go underneath like this. I'm just going to do the 1 inch. Click the check. There we go. And I am going to change this because this is absolutely hideous. Alright, so then, same thing. This one's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit thicker. So I'm going to go to Create, Extrusion, set my work plane, pick my plane as the bottom of the deck. So I'm on the very bottom now. And we should be able to actually do an offset. We can do pick lines and do a... I wonder if do we have to do a negative offset is the question. And yes, so negative offset is going to insert it in like that. So I'm just doing a simple 1 inch negative offset. So that gives us that nice little overhang. I'm not going to pick that edge because I don't need an offset over there. Just on the outside. Now I'm going to turn offset off. Put that back to 0. Grab my line tool and just follow the house around. And this really, again, this is for visual representation here. This is not, if I were to actually do this, I'd put the joist down and all that fun stuff. But we don't have to do that. So let's do negative 14 inches. And this one I want to be black. I do not want to be this color. Oops. There's my black. Not sure why that's not showing up, but it's not. Oh, and you can see I'm actually going the wrong way, so that's fine. Let's go this way. Just a simple switch to negative. I don't know why the orientation changed, but so there's our beautiful deck. And then finally there's one more step right here. So this one I'm going to do a little bit differently. Say, where are we at? Create, set work plane. This time I'm going to pick the face of this. So I'm picking the face of this part right here. Like so. I'm going to rotate my view. So I'm looking right at this, and I'm going to create extrusion, and I'm just going to eyeball this step so my steps are in line. You know, we could draw a monoline, we could make this perfect, but I don't think it's really necessary for this. So I'm just going to do 7 since it's half. And go ahead and click. Now it's going to push out. It should push out. Let's do, sorry, don't click that yet. Let's do 11 inches. Let's see what happens. Perfect. So there it is. It's odd that those are totally shaded differently. Yeah, right. Or at least it looks like on my screen. Last extrusion, just the little step here. So this time I'm going to do the exact opposite of what I just did. I'm going to do pick lines, and I'm going to do 1 inch here. Just click. Oh wait, hold on. Let's set the work plane. Sorry about that. Totally my fault. And then let's go ahead and use the actual line tool. So line tool and 1 inch offset. It wants to go that way. So I gotta go this way. Hit escape. I'm gonna turn this off. And again, there's 1,000 different ways you can do this. Just trying to show you a different way. So, gaps on every corner, and this is where I use my trim extend tool. Like that. That brings the shape together, and then it's just going to go up 1 inch. And I want it to be, I don't want it to be oak flooring, but I'm just going to keep them all the same. Oak flooring. Boom. Look at that. Alright, so I'm going to actually change this, and I'll put the real material in the folder, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I put the file in the shared folder, so you can grab it if you want. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to, because I think we're going to have a problem here. You can see this is going this way, and this one's going this way, so I'm going to show you how to fix that. Kind of. Alright, so here is this oak flooring. I'm going to click on this. We're going to go ahead and say new material, rename, we'll call this deck plank wood 1, I guess. If we have multiple ones, there it is. Oops. Alright, so there it is, and what we can do is say use render appearance, select image, and I'm going to grab my other one right now. Alright, so here it is. Click on that. Click on the image, get the size right, because it's 1 foot. It's more like 10 feet. Not 10 inches, 10 feet. There we go. Apply. Hey! That doesn't look half bad. Looks pretty jazzy. Alright, so then if I just go here and grab both of these, let's see what happens. Change this to oak flooring. Oops. Why did I just do that? Oak flooring, no. We want to change it to deck. Where are you? Deck plank 1. Alright, so this one's right. However, this one's not right. Obviously, I don't want to go in this way. That'd be ridiculous. So what I'm going to do is actually go into my materials, and I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to call this 90 or 1 rotate. Just something. It's the same thing. It's just going to be rotated. And then what I'm going to do is go over here. Oops. Let's click on this. Go to appearance and make sure you turn this thing off and say. There we go. So you want this shared thing to be 0. And then I'm going to click on this and change it to 90 so it's sideways. Click OK, click apply, and so now we can grab both of these, click here, or I mean I gotta change one actually, because one's gonna be right, one's gonna be wrong. Change this one to the other one. There we go. And there's the deck. I can go ahead and hit finish model, and sure, I'll save the project. Okay, now go down here and turn on reset this. There's our beautiful house. If you want to change, you know, like grasses and stuff. I'm going to show you super quickly how to make. We're just going to make a generic model that's going to act as the driveway and stuff. So I'm going to go to architecture again, super easy, model in place. You can use a slab. I don't like using slabs though. I just like using my generic models. So I'm going to call this driveway and set my work plane, and this time I'm going to pick plane. No, I'm not going to pick plane. I'm going to do name, and I'm going to do top of foundation wall. Let's see where this shows. Top view, and create extrusion. If you do slab. It has to be within here. It's got to be within the boundaries of the ground, of the topo surface. And if you do it this way, it doesn't have to. So I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to add the sidewalk. I'm going to push and pull this when I'm all done. Kind of get it what I want. So garage doors are 16 feet. So I want it a little bit bigger than that. So I'm just going to do 20. Not 20 inches, 20 feet. Gotta have 2 stall, right? Actually, it's a pretty small house. Maybe we won't even have that. Let's do 10. That's weird. Why am I off by an inch? Anyway, let's do 10 feet. Because it's small house, bachelor pad, bachelorette pad, what have you. So here, I'm gonna go ahead and just let that go up to, let's do 4 inches, just like a real slab would be. I can do oak flooring. This is where we'd also go online and get a nicer concrete, because the concrete on here is just terrible. Concrete, we'll do lightweight concrete. So there it is, and you can see how it patterns, and it's dark and dingy and yuck, and you can see how the level is way too high. So I don't want to make a new level. I'm just going to say start is going to be -2 feet. Oops. And the end will be negative. Hold on. Whoa. Guess it doesn't like that. -2 feet. And let's just do 6. Let's see what that gives us. So now we're a little bit under. But now we can just, and it doesn't really matter because we're just going to push and pull it anyway. So I'm just going to push it up, push this up. There it is. I'm going to push this in to that face. I'm going to push this so it lines up perfectly. And you can see how it's sticking up way too high. So I'm going to pull the whole thing down. That looks better. You know, you do some landscaping, make it look nice. And because I just cannot stand this, I'm going to go find a concrete real quick so we can apply it to this. So there it is. You can go online and get one. I also put it in the shared folder, but this is, you can see, and it's still too high. Kind of bothering me. You can see this is a super light concrete. I'm just gonna push this down just a little bit more. There we go. So we got our nice little driveway and this little walkway. You know, there is a garage right here if we get into that. But you can see this is it. Everything is good. And in the next video, we'll just add some landscaping and do the sheets, and then we'll be done.